Albert Einstein once said, everybody's a genius. But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, today on trial we have modern day schooling. Glad you could come. Not only does he make fish climb trees, but also makes them climb down and do a 10-mile run. Tell me, school, are you proud of the things you've done? Turning millions of people into robots, do you find that fun? Do you realize how many kids relate to that fish swimming upstream in class, never finding their gifts, thinking they are stupid, believing they are useless? Well, the time has come, no more excuses. I call school to the stand and accuse him of killing creativity, individuality, and being intellectually abusive. He's an ancient institution that has outlived its usage. So, Your Honor, this concludes my opening statement, and if I may present the evidence of my case, I will prove it.
Proceed.
Exhibit A. Here's a modern-day phone. Recognize it? Here's a phone from 150 years ago. Big difference, right? Stay with me. Here's a car from today, and here's a car from 150 years ago. Big difference, right? Well, get this. Here's a classroom of today, and here's a class we used 150 years ago. Now ain't that a shame? In literally more than a century, nothing has changed. Yet you claim to prepare students for the future? But with evidence like that, I must ask, do you prepare students for the future or the past? I did a background check on you and let the record show that you were made to train people to work in factories, which explains why you put students in straight rows, nice and neat, tell them sit still, raise your hand if you want to speak, give them a short break to eat, and for 8 hours a day, tell them what to think. Oh, and make them compete to get an A letter which determines product quality, hence grade A of meat. I get it. Back then, times were different. We all have a past. I myself am no Gandhi. But today, we don't need to make robot zombies. The world has progressed. And now we need people who think creatively, innovatively, critically, independently, with the ability to connect. See, every scientist will tell you that no two brains are the same. And every parent with 2 or more children will confirm that claim. So please explain why you treat students like cookie cutter frames or snapback hats, giving them this one-size-fits-all crap.
Watch your language.
Sorry, Your Honor, but if a doctor prescribed the exact same medicine to all of his patients, the results will be tragic. So many people would get sick, yet when it comes to school, this is exactly what happens. This educational malpractice, where one teacher stands in front of 20 kids, each one having different strengths, different needs, different gifts, different dreams, and you teach the same thing the same way? That's horrific. Ladies and gentlemen, the defendant should not be acquitted. This may be one of the worst criminal offenses ever to be committed. And let's mention the way you treat your employees.
Objection. Overruled. I want to hear this.
It's a shame. I mean, teachers have the most important job on the planet, yet they're underpaid. No wonder so many students are short-changed. Let's be honest. Teachers should earn just as much as doctors, because a doctor can do heart surgery and save the life of a kid. But a great teacher can reach the heart of that kid and allow him to truly live. See, teachers are heroes that often get blamed, but they're not the problem. They work in a system without many options or rights. Curriculums are created by policymakers, most of which have never taught a day in their life. Just obsessed with standardized tests. They think bubbling in a multiple choice question will determine success. That's outlandish. In fact, these tests are too cruel to be used and should be abandoned, but don't take my word for it. Take Frederick J. Kelly, the man who invented standardized testing, who said, and I quote, "These tests are too cruel to be used and should be abandoned." Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if we continue down this road, the results will be lethal. I don't have much faith in school, but I do have faith in people. And if we can customize healthcare, cars, and Facebook pages, then it is our duty to do the same for education, to upgrade and change and do away with school spirit, because that's useless unless we're working to bring the spirit out of each and every student. That should be our task. No more Common Core. Instead, let's reach the core of every heart in every class. Sure, math is important, but no more than art or dance. Let's give every gift an equal chance. I know this sounds like a dream, but countries like Finland are doing impressive things. They have shorter school days, teachers make a decent wage, homework is non-existent, and they focus on collaboration instead of competition. But here's the kicker, boys and girls. Their educational system outperforms every other country in the world. Other places like Singapore are succeeding rapidly. schools like Montessori, programs like Khan Academy. There is no single solution, but let's get moving. Because while students may be 20% of our population, they are 100% of our future.
Yeah.
So let's attend to their dreams, and there's no telling what we can achieve. This is a world in which I believe, a world where fish are no longer forced to climb trees. I'll rest my case.
Wow. Yeah, so that is super powerful. And honestly, everything he said there is exactly the reason why I am getting into teaching myself. I have 2 kids of my own, 37 years old at this point. I have 2 kids of my own, and we've been blessed to have a school district that I really appreciate. But even with a good district, our kids still go into these big industrial factory-looking buildings. He mentioned about how the school system was created for the purpose of fueling our factories, supplying our factories with workers. There's a quote by John D. Rockefeller's education advisor, or something like that. Anyway, and he had said, like, our goal with education is not to create doctors and lawyers and artists and philosophers. It's to create good workers, and that's why the system is the way that it is today. So, this video nailed it. And it's exactly the reason why at 37 years old, I'm going back to school to become a teacher, because we need everybody to stand up and try to be agents for this sort of change. This is like a multi-billion-dollar institution. Millions of dollars for the school buildings. You have teachers unions. You have teachers unions that are gonna fight tooth and nail to keep the system the way that it is. And I'm not saying teachers unions are bad. I'm just saying that those institutions are going to fight to keep it the way that it is. You have textbook companies. There's like 2, 3, 4 textbook companies that supply all the textbooks for everybody in the country, right? And if we all of a sudden said that wasn't necessary anymore, then they would lose out on millions of dollars a year. So they're going to fight tooth and nail to keep this system the same way that it is. So it's going to take everybody. It's going to take teachers going in and standing up and redefining how education is done. And there's some schools where you go to and they completely define your curriculum. They tell you what you're going to teach, when you're going to teach it. And to be honest with you, that's not a school that I'm going to be willing to teach at. I'm going to only be willing to teach at a school that is willing to give me as a teacher some agency and autonomy to be able to step in and teach the way that I feel is best, the way that I feel is best to reach these kids and educate them in the things that I think are important, within the standards and within the things that the school board and the state finds important. They give you a list of things that this is the stuff that you should be covering through the year, and you can teach it how you want. I will only work at a school that allows for that, and if I can't find a job at a school that allows for that, then there's charter school options and private school options and religious school options, and there's even opportunities for people to start their own schools. And so that's what this is going to take. This is going to take people at every level: the teachers, the principals, the parents, standing up and saying, this system of hallways, of square buildings with beige rooms, of bells ringing and telling you what time it is every day, of sitting in a classroom and listening to a lecture for 6, 7, 8 hours a day is no longer adequate to foster the kind of education and growth that we expect from our children, or expect for our children, That's what it's going to take. So this video, they nailed it. It's a great video. It's something that I highly recommend, that you share it out there, and I'll go ahead and put a link in the description of this video as well, because honestly, I couldn't have said it better myself. And so I don't know what to tell you to do except do something. Play your part, whatever that part is, whether it's going to school board meetings, whether it's communicating with your kids' teachers, whether it's just talking to other parents about what our education system should look like, because it's our job to prepare these kids for the future that they are going to be living in. And right now, the system is not designed to do a great job at that. We have good teachers, right? We have good teachers, we have good schools, good school districts, but all of those things are working within this same factory school model. And if that's ever going to change, ever, it's going to take people standing up to it and being prepared for a substantial amount of pushback. So anyway, great video. Highly recommend it. Share it to everybody you know. If like to hear your comments, what are your thoughts on this video, and what are your ideas on how we can fix the system while working from within it? It's something I'm interested in hearing. Anyway, thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and remember, never stop asking questions, never stop learning.